Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer LB4382-400-600. It's a 4x4 single-acting spring hinge, full mortise, residential weight, lube bearing, steel base, primed. So let's go over this part number. Let's dissect it. Bommer LB means that this is a maintenance-free style lube-bearing construction here and here. 4382 is a specific reference to the template pattern, or pardon me, the hole pattern of the screws. It's not template. The hole pattern of the screws and the 5/8 radius, which specifically means that this is for general products, doors and frames. The brand is General. The -400 means that it's a 4-inch by 4-inch hinge. On hinges like this height always comes first. That's 4-inch, then 4-inch wide. The 600 stands for prime coat. This is just primed steel for paint, available in different architectural finishes. A general, again, 5/8 radius with this hole pattern. There's there's a link below this video to the template, which shows everything important dimensionally about this specific hinge, so that you can compare that if you need to before you order it up against what you're trying to match. Yes, okay, we're good. This is a spring hinge. It's a single acting spring hinge. It's non-hand and can be used for left hand or for right hand doors. You can see from the swag on the hinge leaves there that it's a full mortise hinge, meaning it's intended to be mortised to the edge of the door and frame when the door is closed. Okay, it's a spring hinge, like we said. There is a guideline below this video showing how many spring hinges you should have based on the size, weight of the door. Generally, they're talking about doors no more than 3 foot by 7 foot. If you've got an 85-pound door, you'd be looking at 2 spring hinges. And if you've got a 110-pound door, you'd be looking at 3 spring hinges. Now, I'm a fan of all spring hinges, not for the obvious reason, but the rate of success is greater when you've got an extra one when you're not sure if you need it, or even 2 extra ones when you're not sure if you need 1 extra one. The reasoning is this. When you set the tension on the spring, and we'll go over that in a moment, the better success comes in the fact that if you've got 1 spring hinge and you should have 2, or 2 and you should have 3, you've got to really set the tension high on that 1 or those 2 spring hinges, because when the door gets all the way open, you've got to have enough stored energy to get that door to close against the air pressure, and then overcome the resistance of the latch hitting the strike plate. And if you've got a door and you're really underpowered in the spring, that stored energy in the spring kind of loses its oomph at the very latching part of the sweep cycle, the 0 to 90 or whatever. You've got your sweep out here, and your last 5 or 10 degrees is your latch. That latching part of the cycle is where you have trouble. Where if you've got more spring hinges, think of a tugboat. They don't go fast, but they can pull a lot of weight. Think of it as torque. You get a better success at actually getting the door to latch if you've got more springs sharing that role or that job. If you're underpowered in the spring department, you have to get the door moving so quickly just so that it's got inertia to just latch. And sometimes what happens is the door will slam, or it will, as air pressure changes, as seasons change, you'll find different rates of success on that. You can buy one, and if you need another one, you can add it on later on, is the bottom line. But that's my experience in actually installing and adjusting these. Oh, well, if you're using a spring hinge, it's very likely that it's a fire-rated door, which means by code, the door has to be self-closing and self-latching. The door is not a good fire door if it doesn't latch. Idea is that the door is closed in a fire. Okay, so now setting the tension. Instructions are printed on the back of the box, and you'll almost always get a box. But if you don't, for whatever reason, they are here in the link below this video called Installation Instructions. They're really, really easy. And by the way, you're going to get screws in a painted finish or in a complementary finish anyway. Sometimes you'll get chrome, but these are primed. You're going to get a tension rod, black piece of steel. You're going to get a tension pin. Here in this package there are 2 because this client's order has 2 hinges on it. You only need 1 per hinge. The tension collar, that's the thing there with the holes, that always goes up. And you can use it for left or right hand doors, doesn't matter. And when you have the tension collar up, you insert the tension rod over here and you turn it clockwise. You can see how I reveal additional holes there as I do that. And it's into one of those new holes that you would drop a tension pin into. And that's what sets the tension on this. Then you can set it and do it a little bit more. You don't want to over crank it. You don't want the spring to snap. Now that really never happens. Bommer's a very well made product. However, if you ask it to do more than it's engineered to do, you'll have that problem. Bommer makes these single acting spring hinges for virtually every pattern that you need. If you have need determining which pattern you have to match, reach out to us. We'll help you solve that problem. Okay. The last thing I'd like to point out is the logo. See the Bommer name there? Might be able to see it. It says Made in USA right above their logo, a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer LB4382-400-600 single acting spring hinge for general products or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.